Hey, it's my recap of Botched, Season 1, Episode 5, Like a Surgeon, which is, I guess, a tribute to Madonna and Weird Al Yankovic, which I'm a big fan of. Come here, Pocket. So if we have a theme for this episode, it is disappearing doctors. So let's get right into it. Let's start with our not really a surgery patient, which is Adam, who, if you watch RuPaul's Drag Race, like I do, you'll remember Adam as Venus Delight, who's known to be a Madonna impersonator. And I think Adam might have had work since the last time I saw, because I kept looking at his face going, that looks different than the guy I remember from RuPaul's Drag Race. Maybe he gained a little weight or lost a little weight or had something done, I'm not sure. Adam has had 7 procedures to look more like Madonna, and we do see him prancing around Mood Fabric, which we should know from Project Runway, which is premiering here soon. How exciting for us. Anyway, in the end, he goes in, he has his consultation, the doctors look at him, and they are so good. They basically talk him out of this nose surgery. Now, some of you might say, well, yeah, that was all scripted. I don't want to believe it. I want to believe that was real. It might not be real, but I want to believe in the fantasy that that is exactly how it happened. And I feel like there's some good justification that this might have been real, in that both Terry and Paul must constantly talk to patients and try to talk them out of things that would not look good on them. Terry says it's another spot in the episode where, you know, if you look good, it makes me look good. It's the same way that even if the patient wants something like breasts out to here, if a doctor gives it to him, it reflects badly on the doctor. So anyway, they managed to talk to Venus and point out that Madonna's nose now really has to do with the fact that she is no longer a 20-year-old girl, and they kind of do things and they show him what it would look like and all that. And basically they convince him that his nose is perfect, and he walks away happy. So some of the best $0 he's ever spent. But let's get to our actual patients, who is Safari and Diana. So Safari, I feel like I saw her on something. She's a reality star. She's been on a couple of shows. I don't remember any of these shows. I probably watched some of them. I think some of them are VH1 shows. But anyway, she had a breast and a tummy tuck that really haven't done her well. So she is... she did wake up during surgery. She woke up in the middle of the surgery and said something to the surgeon, and the surgeon told her to be quiet, and they put her back under, which is horrifying. And then the surgeon actually had another patient that he saw in his home, and the patient died. So that's awful. And this doctor was eventually shot and killed at a Frosty Freeze. So there we go, disappearing doctor number 1. Super sketchy. But anyway, she has this line across her stomach, like an indent, and her breasts are too large and too low. So anyway, she's going to get a breast reduction and lift, and they're going to do the tummy tuck again. So he gets in there. There's a lot of scar tissue. They take out the implants. The implants are very small, which means he'll take out some breast tissue, which the concern is that the nipple could die. There we go. I'm just going to say it. The nipple could die by not having enough blood flow. Anyway, she comes back in. Everything looks great. There was a lot of scar tissue in the tummy tuck, but everything's looking good. She says that her, I can't believe I'm saying this, her nipples get hard, and he's like, hey, that's great. That means that not only do they have blood flow, but they also have nerve connections. So there you go. You got to hear me say a whole bunch of dirty words today. And afterwards, she looks great. She's super happy. Now, Diana comes in for a nose job. She had, she's never been able to breathe very well. She's like 1 of 6, and a sister went into a doctor, got a nose job, looked exactly the same, but could breathe much better. So she's like, okay, I'm going to go to that doctor. So she goes to the doctor, and her nose ends up, popping up in front, which means that you can really see her nostrils. Her nostrils are not even, and her breathing gets no better. So she didn't have a problem with her nose before. Afterwards, her nose looks worse, and she still can't breathe, so it's a big deal. About a year or so later, she called up the doctor's office to see about getting this fixed, and the doctor's gone. I mean, completely disappeared. The whole thing's gone, and no one knows what's happened to him. So disappearing doctor number 2. Super strange. Anyway, it's about 10 years ago. She's been talking about Dr. Paul Nastiff for years. She saw him on Dr. 9210. She's wanting to go to him and truthfully probably could just never afford it. Because, you know, they're probably not paying for these surgeries. It's probably part of, like, their day rate is like, hey, you get a free surgery. Anyway, they go in to do the surgery, and what happens is when they push the nose down, the nostrils flare out, which means that now the nostrils are too big. So I don't know why he didn't discuss this with her before. Maybe he did, or maybe something was unexpected. But anyway, he ends up going out to the sister, asking his sister about it because it's going to require to do a cut kind of in here and kind of roll it in. And she says, you know, she trusts you. This is what she wants. Go ahead and do it. Afterwards, she looks awful. I mean, her bruising, I mean, her nose doesn't look awful, just to be clear, but she has some of the most intense bruising, which she also got the first time, but this whole area is like puffed out and full of blood, and she looks like a mess, and they do the IPL laser, which I think I've had before for dark spots. Good stuff. Anyway, they do all that, they take off, they reveal her nose. It looks so good. It looks like a perfectly natural nose, and she can breathe better. So I'm all caught up on Botched. It's still one of my favorite shows, and you need to be watching it. See you soon.